Outlander Season 8 is already filmed, and the leaked set photos and insider whispers have revealed more than just costumes and camera angles. They've cracked open the heart of the story. This is not just another season, it's Jamie and Claire's final ride, a chapter closing forever. And what we're seeing, Lord John's disappearance, a mysterious baby tied to the Grey family, new enemies hunting Jamie, and the haunting echoes of faith, this is a storm none of us are ready for. If you thought the end would bring peace, think again. What's coming is full of danger, legacy, betrayal, and something even darker. So here's the truth. Season 8 was quietly wrapped before the second part of Season 7 even finished airing. The crew didn't wait. They got to work, they shot the ending, and they left behind a trail of clues that fans have now uncovered. What they found changes everything. First, we need to talk about what this season is trying to do. It's not just tying up loose ends, it's closing the book, literally. We already know it covers Written in My Own Heart's Blood and Go Tell, The Bees That I Am Gone, but now we're hearing that parts of the still unreleased Book 10 are also involved. That means even book readers are walking blind into this finale. And we begin on the move. Claire and Jamie arrive at a house in the rain, soaked and exhausted, their horses beside them. That image alone tells you something. They're not at the ridge anymore, and they've been through something rough. This isn't the calm after the storm. This is a storm still raging. The porch we see in the leaked photos becomes the setting for some of the most emotional moments in the season. Claire's hair is whiter, Jamie's is lighter, older. They've lived through something we haven't seen yet. Some time has clearly passed since the end of Season 7, and now they're walking into a home that's not theirs, meeting people who could be friends or threats. But they're not alone. Lord John is seen with them, and it's his appearance. That really shocks fans. He has a beard, a wild, unkempt, almost desperate look. That's not Lord John. That's someone who's been hiding, running, maybe even imprisoned. There's no way a man so careful with appearances would let himself go unless he had no choice. It doesn't take much to guess that this version of Lord John has seen something dangerous. And if Jamie and Claire are arriving with him, maybe they've just pulled him out of it. Or maybe he dragged them into it. We know that book. 9 ends with Lord John being kidnapped, and that cliffhanger left readers spinning. But for the show to carry that storyline into the final season means they're going for something big. They're not just saving him. They're peeling back the layers of what that disappearance really means. Because Lord John always has secrets, but this time, the secret might not just be his own. He's not just a friend to Jamie. He's family. Now, tied to William, to the Greys, and possibly to something much more dangerous. And here's where it starts to break you, because as fans, we've always relied on Lord John to be the steady one, the rational, loyal, intelligent force in the chaos. But now, he's unstable, unpredictable, and possibly hunted. He may have been hiding something from Jamie all along, something that could shatter their bond even now. And in the background of all this, there's a baby in a stroller, belonging to a young woman named Amaranthus Grey. If her name sounds familiar, it should. She's connected to Lord John's family, claiming to be the mother of Benjamin Grey's child. But the way the show is presenting her doesn't feel like a simple addition. No, her presence in these leaks feels like a warning. Because with every new face in Season 8, the stakes get higher. Amaranthus isn't here to bring joy, she's here to reveal something. And whatever that something is, it's tied to blood, to legacy, and possibly to betrayal. We see her with William, Lord John's son, in front of that same house. And that raises even more questions. Why is William there? What does he know? And is Amaranthus really who she claims to be? The baby is real. The threat is real. But the truth behind it, that's where the danger lies. And this is just the beginning. Because the deeper you go into the leaks, the more you realize this season isn't just about closing the book. It's about tearing down what we thought we knew. Jamie and Claire are older, yes, but they're not out of the fight. In fact, it looks like they're walking straight into their most personal war yet. Outlander has always been about time, how it passes, how it breaks us, and sometimes how it brings things back we thought were gone forever. And now, in Season 8, time is bringing back something we thought had been buried for good. Faith Fraser. The child Jamie and Claire lost in Paris. The daughter whose death shattered their hearts. The one Claire held in silence, wrapped in white, as rain fell outside and the world kept moving forward. But for Jamie and Claire, time never truly healed that wound. And now, it's opening again. Not through flashbacks, not through dreams, but through something far more haunting. Faith's legacy is showing up in the present. Whispers from set insiders mention a storyline involving a girl, a teenager with red gold hair and a face that's said to resemble both Jamie and Claire. She appears in scenes not yet tied to any book plot. She's not Brianna, she's not Marsali's child, and she isn't Jem or Mandy. She's a mystery. But some believe this girl may be the child of a time traveler. Or even more devastating, she may be the show's way of giving Faith a second life. Not in the literal sense, but in legacy. In the echo of what was lost, there's talk of a journal, a small, leather-bound book that Claire discovers in a stranger's home. The handwriting is old but elegant. Not hers, not Jamie's, and the dates are all wrong. They belong to the 1700s and the 1900s. It's not just a relic, it's a warning. Inside it are drawings of herbs, diagrams of anatomy, even sketches of a small baby wrapped in white cloth, and written in careful lines, a name. Faith. Some fans are speculating that Claire left behind more in Paris than we realized, that someone, perhaps a nun or a midwife, recorded Faith's birth and death, and that somehow those records survived, passed down, hidden, protected, until now, and maybe, just maybe, that journal is in the hands of someone connected to her, a descendant, or worse, someone pretending to be. Because with the journal comes danger. A new figure is hunting Claire, a man described as tall, severe, educated. He knows too much about her past, too much about Jamie, and when he confronts Claire, he doesn't ask about Brianna. He asks about Faith. That moment alone is enough to shake her. How could he know? Why does it matter now? And this is where it gets chilling. This man isn't just another villain. He's something darker. Some believe he could be a descendant of Frank Randall, armed with knowledge from old journals, obsessed with time travel, and convinced that Claire and Jamie's presence in the past broke the rules of time. He blames them for a ripple effect that altered his family's fate. And in his mind, Faith was the first casualty. He believes her death was the consequence of Claire's meddling with time. And now, he wants to undo it. But this isn't about saving Faith. It's about controlling Claire, using her guilt, forcing her to travel again, to undo what she's done, to fix history according to his rules. This man sees time as a weapon, and he thinks Claire is the key. And here's where the grief cuts deeper, because Claire, after all these years, never truly let Faith go. Jamie knows it. Brianna feels it. And when this stranger speaks her name, it's like pulling the past through a crack in time. And Claire, so strong, so resilient, starts to crumble. The pain of Faith's loss is no longer just memory. It's become part of the present. It's haunting their final journey. And Jamie, seeing the woman he loves unravel, will stop at nothing to protect her. But how do you fight a man who uses grief as a weapon, who turns memory into poison? The youngsome presence of this new villain, tied so intimately to the past, proves one thing. This final season won't be just about saying goodbye. It will be about reckoning with every choice Jamie and Claire made across decades. The lives they saved, the lives they lost, and the daughter they never got to raise. As they prepare to ride into their last battle together, the ghost of Faith rides with them, not just in name, but in blood, in sorrow, and in secrets that will soon be uncovered. And what they discover could change everything they thought they knew about time. There's always been something noble, almost unshakable, about Lord John Grey, loyal to the crown, bound by honor, and endlessly devoted to Jamie Fraser in ways he often couldn't express. But in Season 8, that quiet devotion finally cracks. And what spills out isn't love. It's betrayal. For years, Lord John carried a secret, not just about his feelings, not just about the moments he and Jamie shared that were never spoken of again, but something darker, something he kept buried to protect Jamie. Or maybe to protect himself. This final season pulls back the curtain on Lord John's past, and what we find isn't comforting. Whispers have surfaced from crew members. Whispers about a sealed letter written in John's own hand, hidden in an old trunk marked with Fraser's crest. Inside are names, dates, and one confession that could collapse Jamie's world. Because it turns out, Lord John may have made a choice during the war that changed Jamie's fate without his knowledge. A deal struck with the British. In exchange for sparing Jamie's life, Lord John agreed to something unthinkable. He gave up another Jacobite, someone close to Jamie, a friend, maybe even a member of the Fraser family, and whoever that man was. He never made it out alive. John thought the truth would die with him. But now, it's coming to light. And the worst part? Jamie finds out not from John himself, but from the new villain who's been circling Claire. The man who speaks in riddles and digs through graves of the past. He taunts Jamie with it. Your closest friend traded your life like coin. And when Jamie confronts Lord John, the silence that follows is louder than any denial. This betrayal doesn't come easy. It bleeds. Because for all their differences, Lord John was family. He stood by Jamie when no one else would. He raised Willie. He protected Brianna when danger closed in. But now, Jamie has to question everything. Was it ever truly loyalty? Or was it always guilt? Was John's love for Jamie a shield? Or a weapon he held close until the right moment to use it? And here's where things spiral. Because if Jamie can't trust John, if the foundation of their bond was built on a lie, what else has been hidden? What else did John cover up? There's a growing theory among fans that John may have had contact with time travelers before Claire, that he knew more than he let on, that he may have even known about Faith long before. Claire spoke her name again. It's almost too much for Jamie to take. As everything falls apart around him, Claire haunted by Faith, the villain tightening his grip. He's now questioning the very people he once swore to protect. And Lord John, he's unraveling too, because guilt, once awakened, doesn't sleep. And love, when it turns to regret, burns hotter than hate. What comes next is a reckoning. Jamie must decide if the man who once saved his life is now the man responsible for everything that's gone wrong. And Lord John must face the weight of his own choices, how one secret, meant to protect, could now destroy the man he's always loved. As the Fraser family braces for their final chapter, trust is collapsing, betrayal is spreading, and what was once solid ground is turning to ash beneath their feet. Outlander has never shied away from danger. Blackjack Randall, Stephen. Bonnet, even the crown itself. But this time, it's different. The new villain introduced in Season 8 isn't just cruel or power-hungry. He's precise, calculated. And worst of all, he knows exactly who Claire is. He knows what she is. From the moment he appears, there's a sense that the game has changed. He doesn't ask questions, he makes accusations. He doesn't chase the Frasers blindly, he stalks them with intention. Because this man, he's been waiting for them. Whispers from the set and leaked pages from the Season 8 scripts suggest this villain has ties to a forgotten branch of the Mackenzie family. But it's not revenge he's after. Not entirely. It's knowledge. This man is a time theorist, a TTS relic hunter, a ghost chaser, and what he wants more than anything is control of the stones. Not to travel for escape, but to rewrite fate. And that's what makes him so dangerous. Because unlike every villain who's ever tried to hurt Claire, this one doesn't want her dead. He wants her trapped, forever in a time not her own. He believes Claire's gift is unnatural, a violation of order, and that the Frasers have been meddling with the threads of history for far too long. He doesn't act alone either. Hidden allies whisper in Parliament. Old journals begin to surface. Accounts of other travelers who vanished. Some are connected to Claire, others, horrifyingly, are children. This villain is convinced that time travel must be corrected, that those who jump across centuries are like viruses to the fabric of history. And the only way to cure it is to isolate the source, which brings us to Brianna. The villain doesn't just study Claire. He follows the trail to her daughter, to Roger, even to Jemmy. Suddenly, the stakes are no longer just about Jamie and Claire's future. They're about the very bloodline that carries the ability to bend time itself. And here's where things get chilling. He doesn't want to kill them. He wants to keep them, use them, extract whatever secret is buried in their DNA. Some fans believe he's building a time prison, a pocket of years that loops again and again, a place where travelers can be observed like experiments. But Claire knows what's coming. Her instincts scream louder than ever. And Jamie, though he doesn't understand the science, understands the danger. The villain begins to play mind games. He speaks to Claire in riddles she heard as a child. He appears in dreams. He leaves messages in books that hadn't even been written yet. And in one terrifying moment, he tells Claire something no one else should know, what she whispered into Faith's ear before she said goodbye. This isn't just a man with a grudge. He's something else. A threat woven into the very rules that have governed time travel until now. He understands that stones aren't just portals, they're wounds in history. And he intends to close them. Claire and Jamie are running out of time. Literally, because this villain's plan isn't just to erase their lives, it's to sever their link to every century they've touched, making it as if they never existed. It all comes down to this. Not war, not politics, not time travel, but love. Season 8 of Outlander is building toward the most heartbreaking, awe-inspiring conclusion we've ever witnessed. And at the center of it all is a decision only Claire can make. The villain's threat has become more than just a danger to the Fraser family, it's a fracture in time itself. The stones are unstable. Travelers are vanishing. History is beginning to shift in unpredictable ways. And the only way to stop it is for Claire to surrender the very gift that brought her to Jamie in the first place. Faith's name echoes louder than ever in this final stretch of the story. Not just as a memory, but as a symbol of loss, of love, of what Claire has given up over and over to protect those she holds dear. Leaks suggest that Season 8 will reveal something staggering about Faith, that her soul, her presence, has never truly left. That the child Claire lost in Paris may have been more deeply tied to the time-traveling bloodline than we ever imagined. One theory, now gaining traction among fans, claims that the mysterious girl glimpsed in the stone circle, long thought to be a traveler from the future, is actually Faith, not resurrected. Not returned, but waiting. A spirit caught between centuries, anchored to the stones by her mother's grief. And that changes everything. Because when Claire finally confronts the villain's plan to trap her family in a collapsing timeline, she understands that only one thing can repair what's been broken. Her own life, her own gift. She must give up her connection to the stones, and with it, her ability to ever see her children again. It's a devastating choice. Stay in Jamie's time with the man she loves, or step into the stones one last time and vanish. But not alone. Jamie, stubborn as ever, makes a choice of his own. He rides with her. Not because he believes in magic, but because he believes in her. Where you go, I go, he says. Words he's lived by, words he'll die by if he must. They're final. Ride is not a battle, it's a journey, through memories, heartbreak, and joy, through the ruins of Culloden, through the forests where they first found peace, past Lallybroch, toward the stones, toward destiny. And as they arrive, something impossible happens. The stones begin to sing, not just to Claire, but to Jamie too, as if time itself remembers them, honors them, because their love didn't just survive the centuries. It reshaped them. In those last moments, Claire sees Faith. Not a child, not a ghost, but something beyond time. She smiles, and Jamie understands. He doesn't need to know the science. He only needs to take her hand. And together, they step forward, into the light, into legend, into a future no one can follow. The story doesn't end. It transcends. Because Outlander has never been about the past or the future. It's always been about now. About love that defies time, pain that reshapes purpose, and the courage to let go. Season 8 will break you, because it honors everything this journey has ever been. Claire, Jamie, Faith, and the ride that never truly ends.